Hi everyone, I'm Peggy Rometo and this is the Weekly Wake Up. Okay, so we're going to slow down, tune in, and allow information to be able to be shown to us so that we can have a great week, so we can really make the most of what this week has to offer. And we do that always by just taking a moment, using our breath to let go of everything that we think we know so that we can actually receive any additional information that is here to support us for the week. So play along, close your eyes, go into that heart space, use that cleansing breath, drop everything, and then we're going to take 3 long breaths in and 3 long breaths out, each time letting go, and then we're going to open to what's possible for us this week. Okay, so go ahead and play along with me. So close the eyes, bring the focus inward. Do that cleansing breath to let go. And then 3 breaths. Okay, so just being shown this week that everybody's going to have a chance to see what needs to be adjusted or what needs to be changed or where the sore spot is or where your weakness is, right? They're just showing me like this beautiful picture, perfect day, and then there's this mark, right? And the mark is something that's a distraction to us or something that we don't like, whether it's about ourselves, whether it's about a work project, whether it's about a relationship issue, but it's like this picture perfect scene with this mark on it, right? So there's something that is going to get our attention this week that may distract us, or it could provide information. It could, something could be brought to our attention that's really important that we need to deal with or we need to address. And whether that's an internal situation within ourselves or an external situation in which we need to be fast acting or we need to be aware of, and we need to get in there and get in resources to make changes, but it's something that cannot be ignored. So whether that is, again, whether this is a work or family situation or relationship issue or something personal within yourself, but it is something that you can no longer ignore. So this is actually a good thing. A lot of people would see this as a bad thing. It's like, oh God, what is going to happen to me this week, right? Or what's going on this week that I'm going to have to deal with that issue. I don't see it so much as that, as just something that's asking for change, being brought to your attention to change. And this could be about your own behaviors. It could be maybe you're somebody who needs to drink less or change your diet, or you need to exercise, or you're not taking good care of your health. Or it could be that you're overworking and you're not spending enough time with your family. Or it could be the opposite. You're not doing work and that there's a big project that's just waiting for you to finish and it's just hanging out there, right? So however you want to look in your life, there's going to be something this week that's going to be shown to you that needs your attention. And it's this otherwise picture perfect, beautiful week. And then there's this thing that we need to attend to. Okay, so let's see what else is in store for us this week. So when this situation comes up, you want to go into it, right? And most of us, when there's a difficult situation or something we feel confronted by, we want to shrink. We want to go the opposite way. We want to pull away from it. You're being asked to lean in, to move towards whatever the challenge is. And by moving towards that, there's information there. It removes the fear. It allows us to be part of it, to flow with it, so that we can be present to whatever's going on. For some of you, it might be a health diagnosis. For some of you, it might be a challenge at work. For some of you, it might be a situation with a loved one. It could be a boss employee. But whatever this is that's being brought to your attention, lean in, don't lean away, right? If it's a problem, you want to lean in. By leaning in, you're going to see through it and to the other side where there's a beautiful ray of light, answers, resolution, support, happiness. It's so funny. I also see this as a blessing in disguise. It reminds me of, it doesn't have to be this intense, but it reminds me of a client that I had once that got in a car accident, and because they got in a car accident, they had an x-ray done of their neck and found that they had cancer, and something that probably would have been undetected otherwise, and they were able to handle it and fix it and be done, right? So it doesn't have to be that dramatic or that intense, although we do have eclipses coming up, and eclipses are sudden endings and new beginnings, right? So it could be an event that creates a sudden ending or new beginning, or information. But it is, here's the bottom line I want you to take away from this, is that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever this is, this thing that you're being asked to lean into this week, there's good things happening on the other side of it. Initially, it may be like, right? But as soon as you lean into it, you're going to see, oh, this is a good thing. This is not a bad thing. All right. So I hope I'm not scaring you, because I'm not feeling it like that. I'm feeling it like it is going to be ultimately a good thing, and something that needed to be dealt with, or something that you needed to see, or that needed to have your attention. And that by bringing your attention to it, good things are going to come to it. And this can be something really simple too, like a work project that you've been putting off, and your attention's been over here, and now you go to the work project and you make all sorts of money with it, right? And it's like, oh, that's been hanging over my head, and you just get it done, you get it marketed, you get it out there, and all of a sudden you start to make money from it. So that's a good thing, right? But initially it feels like, oh, I got to do that, right? It's one of those resistance, but once you move into it, lean into it, it's good. All right, so let's see what else is in store for us this week. Okay, so patience. So for a lot of us, it's going to require some patience, patience with one another, patience with communication, and even could be patience with results, like waiting for the results to come in, waiting for the right people, places, or situations to line up. But just have patience with whatever it is. When you have patience, it's like allowing the information to come in. If you've ever done a meditation and you ask a question and you're waiting for an answer, our mind can sometimes start to create the answer. We can start to talk, or we can start to, bring in information that always seems like it's wrong, right? So, but if you just wait and you let go and surrender, the truth will come up. And that's the same sort of feeling that you're being asked to work with this week, to have patience. So whatever you're asking for or looking for, when you put it out there, or you're waiting for somebody to give you an answer, whether it's, you want to hire somebody and they're thinking about it and they haven't given you the answer, or you've asked somebody, something very specific, and you're waiting on them to get back to you. Just keep letting go and trusting that the answer will come in. So it's just about surrendering, letting go, and allowing the truth to show up, not trying to force issues or pressure people into telling you what you want to hear or what you think you want to hear. Okay? So what else is in store for us this week? Okay, so temperance is coming up, right? So, a lot of people are on vacation. They're out having a good time. You should have a great time. Temperance can be not only overindulgence, but it can also be temperance with how we're behaving in a certain situation, keeping ourselves calm, not getting overly excited or overly reactive, right? It can also mean, instead of being all day in the sun, be out there for 2 hours, right? So just bring a little temperance to your week, to your day, so that, you just want to have more balance. A lot of times when we're on vacation, we kill it, right? We do way too much. We eat too much, we drink too much, we stay in the sun too much, and then we just don't feel good. So you're just being asked to have moderation or temperance this week. And it could could not only be with actions, but it could also be with your emotions. All right. Anything else that we need to be aware of for the week? Okay, so when we slow down, right? When we allow ourselves to be present and we slow down, it's like the next step. It's almost like, imagine like the next step rises up to meet you, right? Like it's almost, if you imagine like you're stepping off a cliff and you take a step, but if you just pause, the ground comes up to meet you and you're not going to fall off the cliff. Like there's no cliff to fall off. So it's just having that rhythm, being patient, being present. And when you're patient and when you're present, the next piece automatically falls into place. You'll know what to do, you'll know what to say, you'll know how to operate. It's just called being in the flow, right? So being a little bit slower this week to respond, having patience, observing the things around you, feeling that cadence, that energy of the universe that knows when to move us forward, right? It's not about rush, it's not about haste, but it's about allowing ourselves to be in that space, right? Of just being in the flow. And when we're present, that's when the ground is going to come up to meet you. That's when that next step is going to be met, and you're not going to fall in a hole, you're not going to fall off a cliff. It's all going to be beautiful, and that's when we lay that golden path, and we're just automatically where we're supposed to be at the right time, at the right place, under the right conditions, right? So if you don't know what that even looks like for you, just notice right now, if you just stop and you just take a breath. And some of you can feel the tightness in your solar plexus, right? That's right underneath, it's above the belly button. So if you notice, for some of you, there's a tension right there. If you take your hand and just place it over that and bring your awareness to it, and just like bring a deep breath with sound to it, and release. Notice there's a little more energy in your body when you do that, right? And it brings all your faculties to that tension in the body. And when you release and let go, it allows you to get present. And when we're present, we have more available to us. All of our senses are here. We have greater understanding. We have more bandwidth. We know what's kind of going to happen, what's going on. That intuitive part of ourselves is awakened. So when you just relax into the moment, and if you feel that tension in your body and place your hand on that body part, and just sink into it with a deep breath, exhalation, and let go and surrender, your mind can get quiet. You can become present, right? And if you can even, for some of us, it even is even helpful if we imagine dropping anchor in that moment too. Like even imagine this cord going down our back all the way down into the center of the earth and just dropping anchor, letting your body relax. And if it means to sit in this energy a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes to reorient yourself to the moment, it's helpful. And what happens is it gets us out of our head. And when we get out of our head, we can start to feel now what the right thing is to do. What's the answer to the next step, right? Or where should I be putting my focus? Or who do I need to call in this moment, right? So when we're scattered or when there's a lot of pressure, whether we put it on ourselves or somebody else is putting it on us, these are some tools that we can use, slowing down, using our breath, using our imagination. And the reason they work is the imagination is the doorway to the creator, right? To that part of ourselves that creates the next step, the next moment, the future. That we co-create. And as we relax into it, it makes it easier for us to feel or to just know what that next step is. It gets us out of our head. All right, so this is a practice I really want you to play with this week, because as we do that, that black mark has disappeared, and I see us in the black mark, and what I see now is nothing but bright light, right? Like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're handling it. We're managing it. We're not avoiding things anymore. We're actually in action, dealing with things that need to be dealt with in our life. So that's what I mean by whatever you see it is that's like, wow, I don't want to do that, or geez, that's right there. Lean into it, step into it, take a few deep breaths, let the energy, the emotion flow through you. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid, whatever it is, whether it's an unwanted pregnancy, whether it is a divorce situation, whether it is an illness, whether it is you have to fire somebody, or whether you got good news and you got hired, or you just sold your house and now you have to move, or suddenly, your kid got accepted into college and you've got to figure that out, right? There's a lot of really, really good things that happen for people that add pressure to our lives. So just whatever it is, it can be a good thing. Step into it, lean into it, take some deep breaths, be present. And when you get present, you're in the light, and now you can see everything and you know what the next steps are. And we're in that calmness and we're in that space of awareness. And from here, the answers naturally come in. From here, synchronistic events can happen. You're right, where one event takes you to the next event, that takes you to the next event, that takes you to the next event. And you don't even have to think about it. And at the end of the week, you go, oh my God, what an amazing week. Everything came together. I don't even know how that happened. This fell into place and that fell into place. And that's how this week can look. It can be one of those weeks where everything just falls into place, right? Those little pearls that we talk about, that each one is brilliant and amazing, but then when you connect them, it creates this beautiful story. And that's what I feel this week is about. It's just really being present and stepping into whatever it is life is showing you and that we are resisting. And when you step into that resistance, there's this beautiful unfolding that's going to happen for you, and you'll be like you're at command central, and the answers will flow into you. The right people, places, and situations will unfold for you. You'll be able to breathe. You'll be able to feel the joy in it, the satisfaction. And it's that feeling of grit, that, yeah, oh, this feels so good when you're doing something right, when things are working. And sure, it takes effort, but there's a joy with that effort. There's a sense of satisfaction with that effort. And that's what's available for you this week. There's just this real joy, sense of satisfaction, getting a lot done. So whatever is showing up, do not resist. Step into it, embrace it, lean in. Take a few deep breaths, relax, and your world will expand and all the answers will come tumbling in. All right, you guys, have an amazing week. I know it started off like it might be a little crazy or anxiety prone, but it doesn't have to be. Right? Just lean into whatever it is, and you're going to have an amazing week. The answers will be there. You'll be divinely led. You'll be command central. You'll know how to handle it beautifully. You've got the universe's support. It's loud and clear and effortless in terms of your capacity to make things happen. All right. Have an amazing week, you guys. I can't wait to hear at the end of the week, like what happened for you and how you handled it and and all the miracles that came out of it and the beautiful synchronistic events. So please share them with me. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much for viewing and watching and sharing my weekly wake ups. And I look forward to seeing you again next week.